This is the Hard Mark Podcast, starring Eric Donaldson and Ryan Murphy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hard Mark Podcast, the fabulous podcast. Once every 2 weeks, gets posted for your audio ear holes. A lot of hot audio cream. My name's Eric Donaldson. I am your host of this fine program, and with me, as always, is the man of 1,000 compliments, the Soul Skater, the Mater D of Matt Drama, the Tampa Bay Topsider, the living painting, the talent, Ryan Murphy. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good. I think I recognized all of those names this time. I don't think there was anything new thrown in.
We're trying not to add anything else because your intro is already very long, and I don't want people to shut the podcast off before I finish rattling them all off.
Do you have that on notes, or do you have that just down at this point?
I still have it noted for the moment. I don't have it memorized. I think I have the first three down, but like the Tampa Bay Topsider is kind of a new one because of your odd fascination with the city of Tampa Bay.
It's one of my favorites.
Do you have any other weird geographic interests beyond Tampa Bay? Like, do you have like a weird hatred of Cincinnati or something like that?
I got not off the top of my head, but
Okay.
I'm sure I could think of one. I really like if I would give it some thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make some notes.
Well, as we go through these different events, you know, they'll take place all over the world, so that'll jog your memory.
Yeah.
These types of things come up. But welcome. Every episode of Hard Mark's a big one, and this is no exception. We're taking it back to ECW, the land of extreme. So looking forward to that, and we'll of course jump into some of those topics in just a little bit. But you know, how are things, Ryan? I know we're still obviously quarantined. Just as a quick disclaimer for everybody, you may hear some background noise on Ryan's end, which I know is completely just shocking. Why would you ever expect to hear that? You may also hear some lawn mowing in my background. The neighbors, despite my complaints, are doing their lawn maintenance on a Friday evening. So I do apologize.
The electric mower on them.
Have I guarantee you that the electric mower would run quieter.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When?
I don't want to like be touting that actively to them. My hope is that they will just like notice the Prius-like quality that my mower has and then kind of just take it upon themselves to adopt it.
You don't have like one of those lawns that kind of merges into their lawn a little bit, so maybe you could like mow a little bit of their lawn with your...
No. Hedonism 4 is totally fenced off. Like I have no shared lawn. Actually, I take that back. I do have I have a shared weird area behind my garage that's just sort of open between my garage and my other neighbor's garage. That's about it. And there's not a whole lot of mowing that goes on there.
That's you know, not to get off topic here, but that's always a thing. When I mowed, and you know, a passionate lawnmower, there's this, and it's been this way like since I was a kid. There's always this like divide between like your property and the next one over, and you don't know when to stop, right? Like you don't know how they want their lawn cut, and like, but I always wanted to make sure my lawn was nice and freshly cut, so I went a little bit over, probably, you know, pushed the boundaries a little bit.
Did they ever say anything to you?
No, they had a way better lawn than I did. They had these guys were on top of their lawnmower. I think they respected a nice fresh cut lawn, so they didn't complain.
A nice fresh cut lawn.
Yeah.
Buddy. There's that soundbite again. For the record, this is not off topic because everyone knows that this is the preeminent pro wrestling and lawn maintenance podcast based out of Seattle in the entire world. So, you know, this is very on brand for us, for the record. Did you have much of a relationship? I know that, you know, your home has been sold for a little while, but did you have any sort of relationship with your neighbors at all? Or was it just sort of if you're both walking out to your cars at the same time, you'd wave?
It's a good. She would always like text me and ask me if she could use my truck for like stuff.
Did you tell her that that's served for your podcast partner and no one else?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Moving ellipticals and things like that. Yeah. I know I was always friendly, and I was like, Sure. But I'm not a great texter. I don't get back real soon all the time. So she's like, no, I already found someone else to do it. And so anyway, we did a block party on the 4th of July. And so we got to meet a lot of our neighbors there, which was pretty fun. But we spent a lot of time on the roof, my house.
I think we've delved a little bit into
into the roof thing, yeah.
Of hanging out on roofs, which is very odd to me. I refuse to go up on mine, so
you have kind of a steep roof.
You have a steep roof, yeah. The idea of drinking up there is not appealing.
I wouldn't drink on. Well, I mean, I get if like you insisted, I might drink on your roof, but I wouldn't just like that. Wouldn't be a thing I would just go explore. On our roof, it was a lot episode
a deathmatch episode, broadcasting live. Hedonism 4 on the roof.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we're up to episode 14. As we've talked about, Ryan, we are on the path to 30. The deathmatch episode 30. We're almost halfway there.
No. I feel like how have you pushed it this far back?
You can go back and listen to the previous episodes because we're on social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. You can find our podcast anywhere on iTunes, on Spotify. It's on all major platforms, so look for us anywhere. Listen to those old episodes. I have been very clear, episode 30, but what were you going to say, Ryan?
Nothing. I was going to ask you why you pushed it back to episode 30.
Why didn't you? I mean, it's been episode 30 the whole time because we need to build to 30. We can't, and you've already asked me this question, and I've already answered it pretty well. Because if we just throw deathmatch wrestling at you right now, you're not going to appreciate it. Then it dilutes everything. So we have to make sure that we kind of build properly, and we're getting.
So you're saying it's absolutely worth it, right? Like a death match is a thing that people need to see and I need to hear about this death match. Like I know a little bit about it, but I am like, I might take work off that day to like just do a little bit of research for the podcast and get ready. Like,
I highly doubt that, but you're welcome to say that out loud if you'd like. But no, that's going to be a big thing. We need goals. We need stretch goals.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe that'll even be the episode where we have our associate Tony take a crack at you with the kendo stick. You never know.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
I did get a message from him just the other day. He has not forgotten, and he's very looking.
He said yes, and then he checked in.
Yeah, he checked in. He's like, "When are we doing this?" It's like, listen, let's move to phase 2 of this thing. Then we'll be in conversation. I also told him, you've been in my garage. You know that I have a punching bag.
Yes.
I promised Tony that I would give him a couple of practice swings on the punching bag just so he can get his form right before striking you.
You know what? I will never back down from this. When this happens, I'm here. I'm ready to go, and I'll be ready after his practice swings. I accept this is going to happen now.
I appreciate your gumption and your moxie. I'm very much looking forward to this. So tentatively, I'm considering rolling that up into our episode 30 deathmatch extravaganza. So we'll see how that plays out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But it's not episode 30. Today, this episode that you're listening to with our smooth, melodious tones filling up your ears with hot audio cream. This is episode 14. And before we get into our match today, I have a couple things that I thought might be interesting to talk about. But where I was going with the whole deathmatch thing before you kind of upended it, I'm going to give you an option of what we're building to. So I didn't expect you to gravitate towards the deathmatch thing as strongly as you did. It surprised me how fascinated you were with that topic. So I wanted to kind of give you an option A and an option B for what we're building to for episode 30. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Okay. So option A is deathmatch. We've talked about deathmatch wrestling, what it can entail, that it's, sometimes very gruesome, that sort of thing. But let's talk about what option B is. Option B is a different sort of type of wrestling, I guess you could call it. Apartment wrestling.
Apartment wrestling. Is that what you said?
Apartment wrestling.
Okay.
So apartment wrestling is generally filmed in an apartment, in a big empty room of some kind. They'll have a ring set up. Oh, go ahead. You have a question?
Like, is this some, sort of high rise, high level, like, or is this like your standard, like 1,200 foot apartment? Like,
maybe somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Maybe something just a notch above your standard apartment, but not quite a high-rise type of situation. That might be interesting to see, but to be fair, for full disclosure, I am aware of the existence of apartment wrestling. I've never actually seen an entire match of apartment wrestling, but I do know that they exist. Generally, what it is, so they'll film it, like I said, in an apartment, not in a official ring necessarily. Sometimes it is. A lot of times they'll just like have ropes set up and maybe a mat, and it's usually involving two women, scantily clad, just wrestling and grunting a lot, and a lot of crotch camera shots and stuff like that.
That's the match.
Yeah. Usually men will pay money
There we go. Yeah. There it is.
and customize what they want included
Yeah.
in these matches. And so another thing around this, I know that it happens with women. I'm pretty sure that this also happens with men.
Do women pay for this or?
Well, who high bidder type of situation, but whoever wants to see them grappling in their underwear,
Okay. Okay.
and you can say, hey, I want to make sure that you're doing this type of move, or I want to see this type of type of thing happening in the match. Like, they're not usually naked doing it. They're just usually, wearing typical wrestling gear, but it's more intimate.
I mean, like honestly, like on like both sides of it. Yeah, I think that should be like maybe like its own thing, but like
Just that you liked both sides of it.
Well, I'm saying like men or women doing that sort of like that is not a death match to me. A death match. I want to see some violent shit. Like,
I'm not saying it's a death match. I'm just saying there's a death match or an apartment match. Whichever one you want to work towards, I'm happy to accommodate. I just want to let you know there's multiple options.
With this, no, I mean that is not a death match, Eric. That's not a part. That's a completely separate thing.
Death match, different type of match. If you would prefer to watch an apartment match for episode 30, I can facilitate it and I can throw in any kinks that you want to.
I mean, that great information, knowing that exists. That's not what I want to watch on episode 30. I want a real death match, like a real, authentic, violent death match.
If I paid enough, I could get girls to tickle each other's feet. You could customize the match and we can watch it.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that. Yeah,
Retta's out of the room. She doesn't have to know about it. I'm just telling you this is an option.
This exists. Yeah, that's good to know. And that's fine. Maybe like episode 31. I don't know. That's okay. I mean, was this a serious question?
I'm just telling you that it's available. You don't know if this existed. Maybe you'd be very intrigued by it. I'm just telling you.
I think, but you're asking me, like, you built up this whole death match saying that like the fans really want it. This is something that we have to build up to. And then you're like, or we can do an apartment match on episode 30. You didn't say like, okay, there's another type of wrestling that we could do later down the line. No, come on. Let's separate these.
Okay.
We need a real death match.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll separate them.
And also, like, if it was like an apartment match and like it was like crazy, like they're like breaking shit in the apartment on each other's backs, like that would be one thing, right? Like it's just but come on.
It's just a lot of submission holds.
Okay, all right, good. I'm glad.
What it is. I'm pretty sure just choking and hurting their legs and putting themselves up in each other's bodies, and that's it.
It's not that I'm opposed to watching it. Just don't give me option A, option B here. Just you separate those, right? Like,
I thought maybe you might be super excited by the possibility, but clearly you're not. That's totally fine. We will continue on the march to the episode 30 Deathmatch Spectacular.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Deal. Done. But now you know apartment wrestling's a thing. Circle back around to that topic in the future. You never can tell.
I think it should be brought up, but let's move on to episode 30. Let's stop toward forward. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, it's important that you be familiar. Like a year from now, Ryan, you'll be able to educate everybody else about these things. So I'll have done my job, and then you will be able to come carry on as my apprentice, my apostle, if you will.
Who will I bring in?
I don't know, anyone you want. You'll have that power. You'll have that knowledge to be able to kind of convince them, like, hey, there's this really cool underground sport that's kind of not a sport either. It's called Pro Wrestling. Here, come with me. I'll tell you all about it, and you can, let them know about apartment wrestling. And
Eric, you make such a fair point right here that I just like.
one other thing I'll mention, I just kind of have a couple topics that I thought might be of interest. And we can use one of these as our Ryan's Corner if we're so inclined. But one other thing, kind of not on the wrestling tick, but I just want to kind of give people some flavor about who Ryan Murphy is, and I'm admittedly a little bit curious about this topic. Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
All right. Well, there we go. Any reason that you don't believe in ghosts? I don't know I don't know where I stand on the issue, so I'm not good to ask this question.
I think like as a kid, there was always some things that were like, that's a little weird, and like maybe I was inclined to believe that might be ghost-like. But
okay.
As an adult, like especially like Greta really liked, I think it was like Ghost Adventures.
That stupid Ghost Hunters, the show about the guys.
Ghost Hunters, yeah, I hated that show so much, and I think South Park did a good episode on it, where they kind of mock the ghost. Yeah, so I mean, I've never been into ghosts. I've never I don't. It's not that there's not creepy shit out there. It's just that I don't like ghosts specifically. Don't like do it for me. It's not a thing I'm really into. Yeah,
ghosts don't do it for me. But to be clear, you do not believe in the existence of ghosts.
Ghosts? No, no.
Why'd you say it like that?
I believe in like the existence of like weird shit. Like I could do I think there's stuff out there that's like
Chupacabra.
Yeah, but like ghosts. No, I don't believe in ghosts.
What's the thing that you do believe in then? That's what I would quantify as weird shit.
I think there's just super weird shit out there that like it's like very difficult to explain, and like there's these phenomenons that like you can't like really pin to anything, and I just think ghosts is like a way for people to explain that shit. I think it's so stupid. Like I don't want to like hate on anybody. I just think like there's these things we don't understand, and like then we peg them as ghosts.
So it's not necessarily that there's other things that you believe that are similar to ghosts, like chupacabras or the Jersey Devil or stuff like that. You just think, oh, weird shit happens, and people are very quick to say ghost to that weird shit. Okay,
that's yeah, and like I think ghosts.
You got my hopes up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not I think they're just I think it's a lame excuse for like real shit that could be going on that we should look into more, maybe. Like, yeah, I think ghosts.
What an answer. What a detailed answer.
Yeah.
What about aliens? Where do you fall in the whole aliens thing? Is that a crock of shit, or are you on board?
Aliens like life outside this planet?
Aliens, I think it's a given that there's aliens out there somewhere, but have aliens ventured to Earth? Have they been here?
That's it's a tough question. I don't.
This is the existential episode of the Hard Mark podcast. A lot of introspective thought.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Like I could like possibly. I don't know, or I don't have like a concrete answer for that. I think like like there could have been some contact for sure, but I don't know what that looks like. I'm not like smart enough to like figure out like what sort of like, because there's you have all these like radio waves going on. It's not like everything exists, right? Like how do we like determine what like I don't know, but yes, I think it's certainly possible that they've made contact with Earth. I think there's definitely alien life out there.
These are some. I'm just gonna throw this out here right now. For as much as you bagged on the Ultimate Warrior for being a pussy last episode, these are some very pussy ass answers that I'm getting right now. You're not committing either way.
I think I'm being completely fair. Yeah. Okay. I think yes, we've probably been in contact with some sort of alien life. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I have a hard time imagining that we're like the most intelligent. Like, and we're already like making contact with other planets. Yeah, of course there's been like some sort of contact. I mean, come on. There has to have been some sort of alien contact.
What do you think, if you had to guess? Obviously, you're very uncomfortable committing to any sort of opinion about this topic, but if you had to guess, are you saying by contact, you're saying maybe just a quick flyby? Are you saying like those motherfuckers built the pyramids? Like where are you landing on this?
Yeah, I'm more like kind of like the UFO type of come close to like where we're at, but maybe I don't think like they built the fucking pyramids. Like I think that was highly fucking well thought out engineering that built the pyramids.
That's a bold stance. That's a very bold stance. So hey, you heard
Is
it here
it?
first. Hard Mark Podcast, episode 14. Aliens did not build the pyramids. Fuck off.
And it's weird because like I don't even know if it's like UFOs. Like I don't know. Like I think there might have been some other. Maybe they're like observing us right now. Like who, they're like holy shit. There's this other like I don't know, but there's something. Yeah, like there's been some sort of like either like observance or like flyby or whatever. Wasn't there just like a UFO thing, like a news story or something that like the government released? Yeah.
And nobody cared. No, like it got
No one
very
cared. It was such like little amount of news surrounded. That's shocking. Like, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Well, eventually we'll build to like whether or not you're a flat earther, but we'll leave that for episode 15 or spoiler alert. Big time flat earther over here. All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's get right into the match that we're going to be watching now that we've kind of gone through the foreplay of discussing apartment wrestling and aliens. So our match today, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be taking place in ECW. Do you remember anything about what I told you regarding ECW from our Taz versus Bam Bigelow episode?
I remember all of it for sure.
Okay, but can you name one of the things from it specifically? ECW?
I mean, I think our audience would like prefer like a recall from like an expert.
Okay, noted. Yeah, let's do that. So ECW was the third major pro wrestling company in the United States throughout the 90s. So you had WWF, you had WCW, and you had ECW. Now, ECW was a pretty distant third, operated on a much, much, much smaller level than the other two, but they were kind of like the more independent, ECW stood for Extreme Championship Wrestling. Everything had to be extreme in the 90s, and so they sort of embodied pushing the envelope a little bit further in the world of professional wrestling. So, like an ECW match did not have disqualifications. It did not have countouts. Frequently, people would just run into the ring and start fights with, not like people from the crowd, but other wrestlers would run into the ring and like the match would all of a sudden, hey, this was a one-on-one match, but now it's a tag team match. Why? Fuck it. I don't know. It just is now. But yeah, so that was ECW in a nutshell, based out of Philadelphia.
Of course.
Yeah.
Where else would it be based out of?
So the last ECW match that we saw was from March of 1998. Young Ryan Murphy was not 30 years old at this point. He was just a little, I guess he would have been like 7, going on 8 at that point.
Probably 7 going on 8, yeah.
There we go. Look at this. Look at the big math skills on this guy. But the last ECW match that we saw was Bam Bigelow versus Taz. That match was fairly famous. Taz threw Bam literally into the stands, like into the people behind the barricade from a ramp leading to the ring, which was fucking ridiculous. Taz like bashed the back of his head on the barricade, and then the match finished when Taz had his Taz mission. He was up on Bigelow's back. Bigelow fell through the ring on top of Taz. Bigelow emerged, pulled Taz out, pinned him, and won the ECW television title. That all rings a bell to you, yes, Ryan?
No, like I said, a solid match. I enjoyed that one. Yeah, I did. Believe it was up there on my ranking. So
yeah, it's in fact, why don't let's see, number 3 out of So yeah, top 3 matches of all time, the last ECW match. So we'll see how this goes. But this match also features Bam Bigelow. I remember you not being super high on Bam the last time. Yeah. I believe you described him as just being a big fat guy.
He's got the tattoo on his head.
He's got the flames tattooed on his head. He's got the flames all over his gear. He's about 6'6", 360 pounds. He's a bad fucking dude. Bad dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that I wouldn't want to be in the ring with.
What if we arrange for Bam Bigelow to hit you with a kendo stick? Would you be open to that?
for the viewers, of course.
Yeah.
You know, like
bring him back to life and then fly him here. So that last match that we saw, that was in March of 98. Again, we established Ryan Murphy, just a little 7 years old at that time. He was busy soul skate, pooping his pants from eating too much cheese pizza. We know about these things.
thank you, Eric.
Yeah, just looking out for you. So this match that we're watching here today took place just 1 month later. So Bam Bam is the reigning defending ECW Television champion, which was like their secondary title. It's their version of like the Intercontinental title, like we saw last episode with Hulk versus Ultimate Warrior. Bam Bam was defending the ECW Television title against a man by the name of Rob Van Dam. So we referenced Rob Van Dam last episode, just briefly hyping this episode. Let's talk a little bit about Rob Van Dam. So Rob Van Dam was also known as RVD. You'll never guess how they came up with that nickname. It's a pretty hidden secret in the world of wrestling. He's also known as Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View, and the whole fucking show. How's that grab you so far?
I use a good set of nicknames, you know, like myself.
So RVD, in my opinion, and obviously, you know, I'm the one saying it. This is my show. I am the host. But in my opinion, I think Rob Van Dam is one of the top 5 best athletes in the history of pro wrestling, which we'll get into in just a little bit. So as far as the name Rob Van Dam, obviously it's not his Christian name, his given name. So he got his ring name from his martial arts background and his resemblance to Jean-Claude Van Damme. Are you looking up Rob Van Dam right now?
Yeah.
It's just spelled Rob and then Van and then DAM.
The first thing that came up was Rob Van Dam AEW. That's the. I mean,
yeah, you need to worry about that. Just Rob Van Dam.
No, I understand, but that's the first thing that popped up on Google was like AEW as well. Stunning looking guy. Like,
what does that mean?
I mean, there's some photos of him here that just like, holy shit, like, you know, like what you were saying, like the most physically like fit or like one of. I mean, yeah, I mean, like just this dude. Quick Google search, and I mean, that's this guy.
You can kind of see the resemblance to Jean-Claude Van Damme a little bit, right?
Sure.
Like a long-haired Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
No. Time Cop era.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Okay.
Hulk Hogan, as we talked about, and obviously Hulk's not in this match, but Hulk Hogan, as I mentioned last episode, was the first pro wrestler to be featured in Sports Illustrated. He was on the cover, which we talked about already. Rob Van Dam, however, was the first wrestler to be featured in High Times magazine. Yeah. Big advocate of marijuana.
When was his prime? You were talking like 97, 98. Is that like his prime time? Like,
yeah, I'd say his prime was probably late 90s, early 2000s. That was his peak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was cool before it was cool. Like,
yeah, he was with it. You know, he moved out to California, but he's originally from Michigan, so he just kind of was all about lifestyle.
So, like, if you looked him up as just a guy, would this be part of his like profile? Like, he was an advocate for that sort of like.
Yes.
Like, I'm just curious. Like,
I think it's pretty well known that Rob Van Dam has always been that. There was a catchphrase of his, which we haven't talked about Steve Austin too much just yet, but Steve Austin had a famous thing that was Austin 3:16 and like a Bible verse. So Austin 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass." And RVD, Rob Van Dam, had RVD. Well, yeah, RVD 420 says, "I just smoked your ass."
Ah, nice.
And like that was one of his catchphrases back then. Okay. So everyone knew it. In fact, right now I believe he actually has a line of CBD oil, RVD CBD.
That's hip right now, especially in the WWE community. Rob Gronkowski has a CBD thing too.
That's true. Famous pro wrestling champion Rob Gronkowski. Apparently, I didn't know about the CBD thing, but he has that wrestling connection. Yeah. We need to delve into more of what we talked about recently, but I want to get through this thing and then we can circle back around. Yeah. So first wrestler to be featured in High Times magazine, and a little picture spread, and I'm sure there was an article there. not only, this is probably one of the most interesting things about RVD, not only did he create his own weightlifting exercise called the Van Dam lift, but he also has the world record for the Van Dam lift of 166 pounds. And I can actually send you a quick video link. I thought it might be good if I get your reaction watching the video of the Van Dam lift.
Yeah.
So the Van Dam lift, just so you know, are you familiar with an upright row? Do you know what that is?
No.
So an upright row is basically you've got the weight in front of you. So in this case, for a Van Dam lift, it's one dumbbell that you're holding with both hands, and you have it in front of you. And the goal is to basically like pull it up to like your chest, both hands. So it's kind of like a shoulder trap exercise, generally speaking. So a Van Dam lift is different than a normal upright row because whereas with an upright row, you're typically going to be standing up and just kind of bringing it up with your shoulders. For a Van Dam lift, you are doing the splits across weight benches and then picking the weight off the ground and doing an upright row from there. And he has set the record for the Van Dam lift of 166 pounds.
Would people like just do this?
I did find YouTube videos of other people doing it, and there's been apparently for years nobody else could even do it. Recently, some people have been able to do it for like 80 or 90 pounds.
Like, there's a lot of, you go to the gym and there's like a lot of restrictions on like, this is not like proper form. That sounds like something that would not be proper form in the gym if you try to do.
There's a gym that would kick you out for doing a Van Dam lift. Then that gym does not deserve the ground that it's been built upon. That would be bullshit. Even though it's completely irresponsible and probably a liability.
But it's okay. All right. I like the passion for it.
Fuck LA Fitness if they try and get you out of there. And if they do kick you out, do not fucking wipe down those benches. Do not do it. Leave the groin sweat there for the next person to have to just soak in, and maybe they'll grow a backbone. Okay, I'm gonna send you the link right now. All right, let me know when you got it up and loaded.
Yeah, let me. Okay, do you just want me to watch it?
Go ahead.
Jesus Christ. You want like my opinion on it?
So I want whatever feedback you have on it. Yeah.
I just think it's one of those things that's like it's like high risk, low reward.
In my medical opinion, in the various studies of the human body that I've done, the Van Dam lift is actually more effective than squats in the number of muscles that it affects. The Van Dam lift not only strengthens your groin, but it also helps with retention in the quad, your back from having to lift the weight, your shoulders from having to upright row it up. It's the most effective in targeting a variety of muscle groups.
I can't tell right now if that's total bullshit or that's fucking true. Like the way you said it, like are you fucking with me right now?
I've been working for the better part of the past 3 months to get myself into Van Dam lift shape.
Yeah. How's it going?
Episode 100. Eric does Van Dam lift.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was the most dangerous fucking thing. And it's just like all the parts that you don't want fucked with are getting, and like honestly he lifted it up like 6 inches, like, and then like, oh shit, like, damn, that was crazy. Like,
he did get it up. He got it to, okay. Right. So he didn't quite get it as high as I think you ordinarily would want to for an upright row, but he basically got it to being level with his body, with his groin. So his hands were like basically right at his like belly button area.
Well, I mean, I might have to watch it again. Thinking down a little bit, it seemed like there was some sink.
Yeah, because he had a 166-pound weight that he was
exactly. But you can't just be like, yeah, he lifted it. That also affects how high he's lifting it.
You are trying to tear apart this man's accomplishment. That's a goddamn world record you just saw. You're already throwing chinks in the armor.
I just, I see people get like, I don't work out, just so everyone knows. I'm not a part of the community. I don't give a shit about working out.
I'm certain I saw you on the bodybuilding.com's forums back in the day.
Yeah. world-class swimmer, all of that. No, I don't fucking care about working out. And I get it for people who do, it's just not my thing. But you like, even I, as someone who's on the community here, like CrossFit, they're like, that is the dumbest shit you could ever do. And then this guy goes and separates his fucking groin on 2 benches and like barely lifts a weight. It looks like it's gonna pull his whole like body like down to the floor and split him in half. Like, that's crazy.
Even when complimenting the feat, you're still you're saying he barely lifted it. So you're already doubting his athletic credentials, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, you should post the video on this too to make sure that people see it.
Yeah.
Maybe put a poll out there to see like impressive or fuck
impressive or not impressive.
Yeah.
So moving along from the Van Dam lift, so he trained to wrestle under a pretty famous wrestler called the Sheik. So the Sheik trained Rob Van Dam. The Sheik was famous for his violent and bloody matches in the greater Detroit area. RVD also trained alongside the Sheik's nephew, who also got into the wrestling business. The Sheik's nephew would go on to become the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying maniac known as Sabu.
Is that who he's fighting?
No. You can look up Sabu, though. It is a good visual. Go ahead and look up Sabu.
Is it just like SABU, or is that?
Yes. Sabu is absolutely somebody that we will be featuring on the program at some point. I guarantee it.
That looks like that is one of the scariest looking guys I've seen.
That's like Shingo levels of scary.
That is, yeah. Okay, I'll look forward to that. Yeah, that would be. Oh,
we'll just leave it at that. But so Sabu, who we will watch at some point, he kind of broke in with Rob Van Dam. They trained together. The character of Rob Van Dam. So we know that the guy's big into weed. He's very good at a very effective weightlifting techniques. But he's probably, as far as the character, probably the cockiest guy in the world. So he's like very sure of himself. He knows how good he is, that sort of thing. Frequently, he adds flips and other flourishes to his moves, not because it adds to their effectiveness, but just to show how athletic he is. So he's like a show off and a showboat in the ring. And he plays to the crowd a lot, just to kind of give you an idea of the flavor of this person. So the lead up to this match, RVD had traditionally been a bad guy, so that's kind of what he had operated under in ECW to this point. In fact, that whole Mr. Monday Night thing that I referenced earlier, one of his nicknames, that name came from the fact that he was constantly stating that he was too good for ECW and he could better showcase himself with either WCW or WWF, who had Monday night shows. So hence Mr. Monday Night.
They didn't want him to be a part of the organization.
You're talking about ECW fans, or who are you talking about?
Well, you said he wanted to get into some of the other like organizations, right? Like, but he thought he was too good for what he was doing.
He basically would say how, yes, he like everyone in ECW was beneath him. He was better than all of them. He belonged to be in one of the big companies. Like, that's what his character was at that time. Too good to be in ECW, like with all this low rent talent. I should be featured in a big company on Monday nights. So I'm Mr. Monday Night, that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But in the months kind of leading to this match, the asshole, cocky RVD, he's slowly become a good guy. People starting to appreciate his athleticism, his work ethic, and they began to sort of respect him. So he slowly, without changing his character much, he slowly became sort of a good guy at this point, along with his partner and rival, Sabu. So they would frequently tag team up against folks. So speaking of Sabu, Sabu had a match scheduled against Bam Bam Bigelow the following month. So as we talked about before, our first ECW match with Bam Bam was in March. Now this match today is in April. And then in May, Sabu was actually going to fight Bam Bam for the ECW television title. And so the instruction that RVD got from his manager and Sabu's manager, Bill Alfonso, was you need to soften up Bigelow so that Sabu could take the title from him. So that's the backstory for this match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else around this match, RVD, Bam Bam, that you'd like clarified?
No. I'm ready to check it out.
All right. So with that said, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to give you our thoughts on Bam Bam versus Rob Van Dam for the ECW World Television title. I'll make sure to try and post a link to this if I can find the match somewhere, which I probably can. And we'll see you in just a little bit. Thanks. Bye.
Rob Van Dam challenging the Beast from the East, Bam Bam Bigelow, for the ECW World Television title. Bill Alfonso has been very public that Rob Van Dam's task tonight here in Buffalo is to soften up Bam Bam Bigelow so that Sabu can defeat Bigelow for the World Television title at the pay-per-view. Bam Bam... I didn't think Van Dam would reach him! Van Dam is going up again? Oh my God! Alfonso tossed the chair to Van Dam. Van Dam got it up but took it in the face as Bigelow charged. Lawler just took Van Dam's boot behind the ear. It's Sabu! He caught Bigelow in the back of the head. He just jammed Bigelow right in that eye. Sabu jammed Bigelow in the eye. Van Daminator. Sabu was behind Bigelow, tripped him up. We have a new World Television champion.
Great news. Celebrate, have sexual intercourse with your spouses. Ryan Doyle Murphy has broken his losing streak. He was on let's just double check, a 2-match losing streak, and he successfully predicted none other than Mr. Monday Night Rob Van Dam beat Bam Bam Bigelow for the ECW television title. Any thoughts right off the bat?
I don't think you call a 2-match losing streak a losing streak. At least 3 matches before you call it a streak.
I'm going to Google search streak, and I'm going to turn the image search off. Let's see. Definition. The fuck, man, that's a common. I didn't realize how many uses the word streak had. A continued period of specified success or luck. So I don't know. I guess it just comes down to your definition of continuous. Is too continuous.
Like if you were to call like football team would lose 2 games in a row, you wouldn't call it necessarily like a losing streak. You'd wait for like 3 to 4 games.
But it is continuous. It's one leading to the other. So
I understand technically that might be correct, but I'm just
nothing's ever good enough for you. So you did break whatever continuous momentum of losing that you had for this episode. I think we can both agree on that fact. So Rob Van Dam, new ECW Television champion. I guess before I get into my notes about the match, what did you think about RVD? Did you like him? Were you impressed by him?
Yeah, I thought interesting style. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed. It was a good watch. I thought like the match itself was more interesting than any like particular wrestler in this one. I didn't find either of them really that interesting.
Not a big RVD fan then. Sounds like you did like him, but you weren't
he had a couple good moves, but nothing was like really stood out in that match. I was like, holy shit! It was pretty generic, and I did like that he went twice back out in the crowd, and then that he had that one final move that was nice touch, but
the idea that you could say now we're going to get into our notes. We'll talk about what happened in the match, but just to clarify here, you're saying, and I know you sort of amended it a little bit, but you said nothing really stood out to you in this match. And yet in the match, one of the men dove 15 feet past the guardrail into the fans, once just jumping, leaping, and then the second time literally doing a flip in midair, and you're saying, nothing really stood out. Like, that seems like bullshit, Ryan.
I don't know. The match itself, like, I think the environment of that match was way better than the actual match itself.
You're talking about the ambiance around it, the high school gym, and the throngs of sweaty people.
Raw fans, that'll push this one up in the ranking. I respect that, people who are dedicated to their like craft, But the match itself was fair.
Okay, that's fair that it was fair. So let's go ahead. We'll take a look at my notes. First note, which I did mention right when we started watching it, the WWE Network version of all the ECW stuff. So ECW used actual music from like real bands for their entrance songs, whereas WWE has in-house composers that make their own songs. I think that's part of what gave ECW its identity, was people could hear a song on the radio and they'd also hear it on ECW, which kind of made it like cooler, more appealing to hip teens like myself.
Right. Well, they were also competing in like high school gyms, so
that too. You'll be shocked to hear this, but ECW was not paying for music rights. So, but, so we're there. Pantera played, Rob Van Dam's entrance music, Walk, which if you're not familiar with the song Walk, it's fucking cool. Bam Bam makes his entrance. He looks like a bad dude. I would not want to get in a fight with him. Pretty quickly, RVD gets knocked out to the floor, and then Bill Alfonso launched into his stream of gibberish, which I did make notes to specifically remind myself of what exactly he said.
Yeah, and that was interesting. I like that aspect of it. He was kind of like, why is this? Van Dam's like a big name, and I've heard of him.
Rob Van Dam?
Yeah.
You've heard of Rob Van Dam?
Yes. So what I'm saying is, like, his manager was such a weird character. Like, I would expect him to have more of a higher, like class of man.
A cooler human being, not a man who's missing multiple teeth. Is that what you're saying?
Not that he didn't say great things during. I'm just saying, that was an interesting, part of the match.
The in theory, the Rob Van Dam Bill Alfonso union should not have worked. Like, they did not seem similar in any. Like, Rob Van Dam looks like a cool dude.
Yeah.
Who you would not mind grabbing a beer with or doing other stuff with, or not like sexually necessarily, but whatever. Maybe if
necessarily.
you're both,
sure, yeah.
If you both consent, then why not? But Bill Alfonso doesn't look like that. We've got, I don't even know if you had to do like a caricature of a hillbilly, it would probably be Bill Alfonso.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
And he's just blowing a whistle through at least 60% of the match.
It was, and it was like certain points he was almost like the centerpiece of the match,
Yeah.
So, and I have no issue with that. Like, don't get me wrong. It was just like an interesting, like again, this guy who's pretty pretty popular guy. Like, this guy is his manager. That was,
yeah.
But he brought up some fair points. Flylight, or what is it, like more hops than Michael Jordan, more airtime than Jordan, or
he got more hang time than Michael Jordan.
Time, yeah.
Daddy.
And in fairness, that could very possibly be true with the way he hung up there. Like a flying squirrel. Like, that guy just extended his very impressive. I absolutely.
I can appreciate that you are finally starting to come around on just how impressive those leaps truly were. Even though you did still continue to shit on the Rob Van Dam lift. But anyway, one of the other things that Bill Alfonso said, again, I just find them fucking hilarious because it's, again, a stream of total gibberish. He claimed that Rob Van Dam was, quote, like a clockwork, like a Rolex, like a Cadillac, Daddy. He is the Cadillac.
He's got more hang time than Michael Jordan, Daddy. He's doing his job like a clockwork, like a Rolex, like a Cadillac, Daddy. He is a Cadillac.
Yeah.
I loved that. And then later he transitioned into, he's a machine. He's not an animal. It was his delivery. I know I made it sound like Danny DeVito in Batman Returns. I'm not a human being. I'm an animal, cold-blooded. Like, it basically, Bill Alfonso was channeling his own Danny DeVito and stating how he's a machine and not an animal.
I haven't really seen Danny DeVito outside of like It's Always Sunny, so I don't know.
He's a national treasure. He's going to be in 10 years. Whatever people say about Betty White now, they're going to be saying about Danny DeVito. Bank on it. Bank on it.
Yeah.
Couple big, huge cross bodies, kicks, a lot of martial arts stuff from Rob Van Dam. They did some brawling outside of the ring. One of the moves that I know caught your eye, Rob Van Dam did a couple of springboards off of the guardrail. So he would jump onto the guardrail, like facing the crowd, and then jump backwards and like do a kick or like flip onto the guy, stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what it was. Like, I think those moves could have been like impressive, maybe if like in a different scenario, but maybe it was just like too like, kind of like backyard, like wrestling. I don't know. Like, I don't know what it didn't like just grab my attention. They were good moves. I did like his moves. I respected the way that guy could like, just kind of fling himself around. I didn't think he was agile. I thought Bam Bam was way more like, get the fuck out of the way. I was pretty impressed by that. But like,
so you're pretty impressed by Bam Bam literally just ducking a couple times than you were.
Like, I mean, this guy is so big, like, and he's just like boom out of the way, But yeah, I don't know. I think in a different like setting, these moves could have been a lot better, maybe. But in this, I don't know. It just didn't. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't grab my attention as much as maybe it should have. I feel a little bit bad because this is a Raw match, like, and I respect that,
Yeah, you like them raw. You like them nice and raw.
Yes.
Ryan Raw Dog Murphy. I know I said we weren't going to give you any more nicknames, but
yeah. Yeah. It was a solid match.
Yeah.
Raw. I can't.
And we're not done talking about it, so I still got more notes. Rob Van Dam gets thrown into the audience. So just like a sea of wooden chairs, and he just gets heaved into them. And then at that point in time, Rob Van Dam then hits a Hurricane Rana into just people. So a Hurricane Rana is basically where you leap onto someone's shoulders. So like, whereas normally, let's say that you have a young child and you're carrying them around a theme park, they're going to be sitting on top of your shoulders, facing in the same direction you are. If you're going to Hurricane Rana somebody, you would jump, but instead of jumping on their back, you jump on their front. And so your legs would be around the front of their head. And so you're kind of facing opposite directions. And then you just like flip yourself backwards to take them over. So Rob Van Dam did that to Bam Bam Bigelow and literally flung this 370-pound man into a group of paying customers. So that was cool.
That's what they paid for.
They probably did. I'm sure that they really enjoyed getting a taint first view of old Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
Then at that point in time, the couple of dives got hit. We already talked about the dives. Again, it was one dive, probably about 15 feet, just a straight out leap. And then second dive was head over heels, front flip jump, which that takes balls. If his foot had slipped on that top rope or just something like that, that would have been bad news bears. A lot of whistling, I noted. There was that big guillotine leg drop. So when Bam Bam was trying to crawl back over the guardrail, Rob Van Dam jumped out and like leg dropped him in the back. That was cool. Powerbomb on the table. Table did not break. I'm sure Rob Van Dam wishes it would have. And then Bam Bam had the forethought, you know what? If the table didn't break when I threw this motherfucker through it, I will just elbow him through it.
Yeah, and then again, he's just they're so fucking static after this stuff. They can't like move, and it's just the most frustrating thing to me about wrestling and all this journey of podcast has been the fact that they throw like a great move and they can finish this match right there, and they just fucking lay there like again. Van Dam was up before Bam Bam on this one, you know, like what the fuck? Like, how does that even work?
I agree. That yes, that's a silly thing. There's nothing I can say to redeem the fact that after RVD got elbowed through a table that he was the first one up.
And I'm not saying in this match in particular, it's just that it's every fucking match. It's the most frustrating, especially when I want that guy to win. It's just the most frustrating to watch them throw this great move, and it's exciting, gets the crowd into it, and then they just lay there like, oh, like I just got hit, you know? Like, come on, get up, get your fucking feet on the ground and finish him, you know?
They're exhausted. They're real tired, and they can't. They gotta.
Don't
they
make
gotta
me feel for him, Eric.
I'm just telling you, that's Matt drama, baby. That's Matt drama.
I understand Matt drama now. I get it. I get the Matt drama. Just give me a little like, oh, boom, I fucking killed it, and I'm gonna go finish it. That's what I just want to see a little bit of that. That's all I'm asking. Just a little bit of that, and I'll be good.
Fighting spirit, boys. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Steel chair, the first that I don't know that was actually the first steel chair that
I don't think it was, but
yeah.
You were saying that this would immediately get you disqualified out of it, like a normal, like, you know, WWE match or
right.
But this is what I think of when I think of wrestling is a chair right over the back or right over the head, you know, like that. But all these these were all weak chair like throws. These were not good at all. I got tainted the match a little bit. These were not quality chair hits.
That's probably what ruined the whole match for you. Is the fact that it wasn't a quality chair hit.
Not great. So.
Steel chair. Yeah, in fact, they both hit each other with steel chairs. So like Bigelow came up bleeding. I thought that the Bigelow chair shot on Rob Van Dam was a pretty good one, but to each their own. Yeah. Another power bomb by Bigelow. I remember Rob Van Dam jumped off the top rope, and then Bigelow caught him and slammed him right down. And then at this point, finishing sequence in the match, Bigelow runs towards Rob Van Dam to like splash him or, you know, avalanche him or whatever. And then Rob Van Dam gets a chair from his manager, Bill Alfonso, who's paying a lot of dividends in this one, puts up the steel chair. Bigelow runs into the chair. And then right around them is when the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying maniac known as Sabu runs in and causes all sorts of chaos.
He did.
You seemed excited when Sabu showed up.
I'm excited about. I do want to see a match with Sabu. That is something I'm excited for. And you know what? I like the fact that you just throw that guy out there. That's fine. Fuck yeah! Like it's oh shit! What a turn! You know, like I like that. But not necessarily a quality win.
I mean, it's not, you know, the clean win that you want in a real sporting contest. But just to summarize Sabu's involvement, so Bigelow had Rob Van Dam up, who's going to hit him with his finishing move, but Sabu literally threw a chair that bounced off of Bam Bam's head, and then Sabu then jumps off of Rob Van Dam, who's like, so Rob Van Dam's on all fours. Sabu runs, jumps off of Rob Van Dam into Bam Bam, who's in one of the corners. Bam Bam catches him and throws Sabu at Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
Which every time I see a man throw a man at a man, I'm fucking into it.
You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. It was a power move for sure. I mean, I don't think it was effective, obviously, but you know, power move.
Well, sure, you know, but he didn't know. He was only doing his best to retain his title.
I agree. Yeah.
He thought I was going to get him the win, but so Bigelow then, after throwing Sabu, picks up Sabu to hit him with a big power bomb. Sabu pulls a spike from his boot and begins stabbing Bigelow in the face with the spike. Understandably, Bam Bam Bigelow's like, what the fuck? Drops Sabu, begins holding his face, and then Rob Van Dam picks up the steel chair that was thrown at Bigelow earlier, throws it at Bigelow. Bigelow catches it, and then Rob Van Dam kicks the chair into Bigelow's face, which is known as the Van Daminator, pins Bigelow 1, 2, 3. We've got a new television champion.
Yeah, I think Bam Bam was caught a little off guard. Honestly, in this one, that's tough to recover from. So respect to him and his family. You know,
the whole Bigelow family.
I missed the spiking. I did miss that. I'm happy to be a winner in this fucking match for sure. I deserve it. But you know, I felt like, yes, certainly caught off guard. And then, you know, trying to take the belt back from Van Dam at the end too. Like
Sabu trying to take the belt.
Yes, that was kind of a weird thing. I mean, Van Dam did all the fighting, and then he just got hopped in the last second. Kind of got his ass kicked, and then trying to take his belt. You know.
Well, again, as we talked about before the break, Rob Van Dam was sent in to soften up Bigelow. Even though it was a championship match, he was just meant to beat up Bam Bam so that Sabu could then win that title. So Sabu was understandably frustrated. He wanted the title for himself, and so that you saw that play out.
Wait, he was supposed to like come in and like take the title for that match?
No, so this match happened in April, and then Sabu had a match that was planned for May against Bam Bam for the television title.
Yeah.
He was pissed that Van Dam beat Bam Bam for the television title before Sabu did. They're partners, they're friends, but they're all. Yeah, Sabu just wanted Rob Van Dam to like beat Bigelow till he like that beat, but then Rob Van Dam pinned him for the title. And Sabu was like, "What the fuck? Well, now I can't win the title. Fuck you, dude." That was the idea.
A little drama going on there.
A little bit of mat drama.
I love a little mat drama. Yeah.
We got 14th match to add to our list. Let me hold this fucking thing up. Let's see if I can sort this out.
I feel like, okay, so this is gonna be tough. Like, I don't have a really good way to gauge this one. I just want this to go like dead center. This is what like a wrestling match is to me, but it wasn't a great match.
Okay.
Like, I like maybe like put this number 7 now.
Okay, so just to let the folks who may not be in front of any sort of list, which I will be posting with each episode, just so everybody is aware. So the new number 7. So you're saying that this would potentially fall underneath Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey and above Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man.
Let me try to. This is tough. So the Rousey match was one that like she was there, that she got beat. And she didn't think like the fans turned against her, and
right. So Ronda Rousey, like it was kind of like a weird tone. Like it didn't feel like a wrestling match necessarily. It felt like a fight.
It wasn't a bad match, but like
no, wasn't a bad match. And then the ending kind of came out of nowhere. Charlotte kendo sticked Ronda Rousey. Like you really, really seemed to be into the end bit.
Yeah.
Less in, like as the match went on, you seemed to be more into it. But yeah, you really liked the end.
I'm trying to think. So that's it's an interesting place for that. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna stick. I think where I put it is fair, like number 7.
Yeah. So didn't enjoy it as much as Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, but more than Hulk versus Macho.
It was kind of generic. It was kind of a generic match, and I wouldn't put it. It wasn't a bad match. It was just like I thought. Like for being just in this like crowd of people who fucking like love wrestling, it would be better. Like,
I am not going to sway your opinion. I'm writing this down. This is canon. This is official. But just for the record, I'm saying this so I do not lose any credibility with any wrestling fan people who may be listening to this. You calling Rob Van Dam versus Bam Bam Bigelow a fucking generic match, you're fucking nuts. But I'm writing this down.
Where would you put this on this list? Like,
I mean, my list wouldn't necessarily look the same as yours. So, like, I would have to reorganize way more than just this. But if you asked me, let's say Ryan Murphy, that you drove up in the pickup truck that you no longer own, you were blaring some sort of Toby Keith or other terrible country,
yeah.
then you pointed a shotgun at my face and you said, Eric, here's the definitive list of the top 13 wrestling matches of all time.
Mm.
Where would you put RVD versus Bam Bam Bigelow? I would probably put it at 4. I would probably put it beneath Taz versus Bam Bam, but above Andy Kaufman and Jimmy Hart versus Jerry Lawler.
Okay. Yeah, I see that they are definitely different lists. I respect that. But I do not think that this, like, I hold true to my opinion on this one. Wrestling fans may disagree. I don't think this was a great match. My opinion, as a, it wasn't it was not a bad match. Also, like I said, I really like the setting of this.
Knock it off with the Ultimate Warrior answers.
No, I'm serious. Like, if I think a match is shitty, I'll fucking drop that down to 13, 14, no problem. I don't care. This was not a bad match. It just, like, didn't stick out to me. I'm going right in the middle, number 7. That's where I'm.
Final
It
answer.
gets propped up later by more shitty matches, and maybe it gets better. Who the fuck knows? We're on 30. Like, this could be a high on the list.
That it's not going to be above 7 ever, but you never know. You never know. Percentage wise, maybe it's even better.
Exactly.
Maybe to watch 50 or so, you'd be like, you know what? Let's rewatch Rob Van Dam versus Bam Bam. Maybe I'll totally change my opinion. And now that I have a clearer understanding of what pro wrestling is, I'll feel differently.
I would like to at least, like, graze on the topic of, like, Gronkowski, because I think it's topical. I'm just like, I would like to. I mean, I watched a little WWE on ESPN, and, like, because there's no sports right now.
So just to backtrack, just quick pause on that story. You're talking about when they aired the old WrestleMania shows recently?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But that said, didn't he win, like, a belt, like Gronkowski? I don't know how you feel about that, but, like I said, I would just like to graze on the top. I don't know a lot about it. But like I said, it's topical. Like, he's going back to the NFL. He's playing with Tom Brady again in Tampa Bay. Fucking crazy. So I would like to hear about because he's a CBD guy too. He can do the whole thing. He's got the works, man. Like,
yeah, it's got everything you could ever want. So what is it that you're asking me specifically about his involvement in pro wrestling?
Just like graze the story. Like, give me the storyline on it. It might not be interesting. It might be fucking stupid, but, like, it's just, like.
Okay, so yeah, so here's the short version. So WrestleMania this past year, 2020, which was WrestleMania 30. How old am I?
Supposed to be in Tampa Bay, right?
Yes, it's supposed to be WrestleMania 36. Supposed to originally going to take place in Tampa Bay. It was scheduled for early April, but we all know what happened in fucking March of 2020.
Wow.
So yes, it was canceled. Did not take place there. However, the WWE somewhat famously, and this would be a fucking topic for a whole nother podcast. Somewhat famously has continued running shows
with fans.
No.
Okay.
No fans. But still running shows. Lately, they've started incorporating, like, other wrestlers to be in this crowd to kind of take the place of fans. But that's more of a recent development for them. But anyway, so yeah, they moved WrestleMania from being in the big football stadium in Tampa to their performance center, which is like where they do when they hire on new wrestlers. That's where they go to train and learn and stuff like that for a while. So that's where they ran WrestleMania out of. So that's just a little bit of backstory about it. But Gronkowski was brought in to be the host of WrestleMania. Oh. So he was going to do. The host really doesn't do fucking very much. The host thing just started recently in the past, like, maybe 5 years or so. But yeah, there's not always a host of WrestleMania. When there is, they're in maybe like 2 or 3 segments introducing, like, Hulk Hogan or another legend, and then that's about it. It's just for publicity, basically. But when Gronk was first announced that he was the host of WrestleMania, he came out And he did. You have to remember, especially in the early part of the whole COVID-19 situation, people were in sort of
COVID-19. Did you say that?
no COVID, not Hulk Hogan, the original Hulk Hogan 19
Okay.
debacle.
All right. Yeah.
I'll just keep saying coronavirus. So, did you take an RVD CBD? Is that what's happening here? So no, so Gronk was brought in, and like this was I think this may have been the first, if not the first, and within the first 2 or 3 shows that they ran after like no one was allowed to be there live. So it was kind of like a weird spot. Like nobody really knew, like, are things going to be okay after all this happens? And so when they announced Gronk, again, beginning mid of March, he's like dancing to the ring and just like doing Gronk jackass shit, which in front of an arena full of people, fuck it. Yeah, I get it. But it just felt very tone deaf given the circumstances of like that particular show. If that happened now, a couple months later, I don't even think it would be a big deal now. But just in that specific moment, it's just like, this feels weird. But anyway, so WrestleMania happens. He's the host. He's just doing a couple segments. And then they have a championship title in WWE called the 24/7 title. It's complete comedy. It is not taken seriously. It's just there for a comedic interlude, which wrestling comedy is the worst fucking comedy in the world for anyone who wasn't already aware of that.
This is like a part of it every year. They do this kind of like this segment of WrestleMania, or
they always have comedy. They always try their best to have like a funny little interlude. So this 24/7 title is only maybe like a year and a half old. So it hasn't really been around all that long. It's not Hulk Hogan and Macho Man were fighting for the WWF title. It's not like they had Coco Beware trying to catch his bird backstage or anything like that. Like this is a new thing, but it's not taken seriously at all. They had the premise of the 24/7 title is it can be defended anywhere, anytime, in any place. So the 24/7 champion showed up, said, "Hey, I'm looking for a place to hide so that people don't take my 24/7 title." Gronkowski's friend knocked the guy out, and then Gronkowski pushed him off and like pinned him and won the title. It was just a stupid segment. It wasn't a match.
Okay. That is very clarifying to what happened, because I didn't look into this much at all, and like it just sounded like he won the fucking WWE title, and it was just so ridiculous. Like, what was okay? That makes a lot of sense. So yes, that's probably all we need to cover on it.
Okay.
Don't put a thing on that.
The most physicality that he was involved in, he was up on this little platform for the hosting that was like above the ring or whatever. He leapt off of this platform and jumped and landed on top of like 10 guys waiting to catch him.
That's good. Okay, gotcha. So
we're not going to be watching the Gronk match. We may watch the Dennis Rodman match, but we're not going to be watching.
That makes sense. Okay, good. That clarifies it. I thought he won something, and I thought he got it. Not that I really thought he got in. It was just like, fuck, like what the fuck is going on? Like things are crazy right now. Maybe he won some like ridiculous like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Nothing super impressive. Wasn't really
that was a pretty thorough analysis of actually what happened though. Like for something so stupid, like that was pretty like thorough. Like yeah. Okay.
We're a show of details. People are relying on us for truth and information in these hard times. So here we are delivering the hard facts about Rob Gronkowski and the WWE.
Good deal.
So with all that said, I think it's time to wrap things up. We know how we finish up every single show. It's with Eric's Wisdom Tree, where I impart knowledge to the people. I don't have to explain myself or justify myself in any way. And it's great. And so let's go ahead. We'll just delve right into it. So this episode's Wisdom Tree. If you're microwaving a bread product of any kind or something that heavily includes bread, like even pizza, for example, if you're microwaving that, put a little shot glass in there filled with water, and then your bread won't dry out as much as you're accustomed to.
Everyone knows that already.
You say that, but we don't know that. I bet Garrett, Somebody heard that it was not aware. Life hack.
Go back to your tattoos on certain places and like criticize. Go back to the old school stuff, Eric. Don't give me this bullshit fucking shot glass in the microwave. Everyone knows that.
No, they don't. I guarantee they don't all know that. I guarantee. Tweet us at Hardmark Podcast on Twitter. Find us on Facebook. If this was not something that you were already aware of, if I just told you that level of detail around the shot glass filled with water, if you're microwaving a bread product, let us know if this is the hard-hitting content that you want more of on this program. Somebody got something good out of that. Somebody didn't know that. You didn't know about Safeway cookies last episode.
It doesn't even work that well. It doesn't even work that you don't even you need a stale piece of bread to even try it.
No, you don't. It works in all cases.
Yeah.
Quick, this fucking episode's going on forever. They're all going on forever now. But quick aside, my wife, pizza's never good enough for her. Even though pizza's the dominant food at pizza. God, even though is dominant food at pizza establishments, she always insists on like garlic bread, not cheesy bread, mind you, but garlic, like the garlic bread.
Good on your wife.
Garlic bread's great, but not if you have pizza. Garlic bread with pizza is just cheeseless, sauceless bread. It's just not the same thing. I enjoy a good piece of garlic bread when I'm having spaghetti or lasagna or something like that, but not with pizza. It's just a lesser than version of it.
You don't
what
like
I'm saying.
With pizza, or you don't like it alone?
I don't want a bread product to complement my bread product. Pizza or garlic bread, not both.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Heather's right on this one.
Trying to watch my carb intake, and I don't need my garlic bread.
Don't eat pizza.
She always insists that with our pizza that we get a side of like garlic bread. And I don't know what point I was making anymore. But okay, I do remember now. Now I just jogged my own memory. If you're microwaving garlic bread specifically, like maybe you have leftover garlic bread because your wife insists that you order garlic bread with your pizza, then it's a necessity. A garlic bread knot, anything like that. It's a necessity to not just have like weird, clammy bread. Clammy like your hands, Ryan.
So are you okay? Are you saying that it has to be done with a shot of water, or are you saying you shouldn't eat it with pizza?
Well, again, I don't have to explain my wisdom for the record. I never once have I felt compelled to do this. You just continually needle me about my fucking wisdom. But the main thing, if anyone takes one thing away from this podcast, first I hope is that Rob Van Dam's weight lift was legitimate. It wasn't just a little bit off the ground. It's 166 pounds. But the second thing, if you're going to take two things, is that if you're microwaving any sort of bread product, just put a shot glass of water in there with it. So that's the main thing. But as a quick aside, you don't need garlic bread with pizza. It's unnecessary. It's just a lesser than pizza.
All right, Eric, I'm going to let you have this one, but I'm
going to starve you out. Not eat.
Your shot glass with bread is fine. That's fair. It's an easy tip that everybody knows. But the thing is, garlic bread does go with pizza. And it's, if you have it in the fridge and you need to warm it up with a shot glass of water, like you should have it with pizza if it's available. You don't have to go out of your way necessarily, but you should absolutely have it if it's available. Yeah, garlic bread is the shit. It will go with anything: pizza, chicken, pasta, whatever. Like,
you're just saying that because pizza gives you poo-poo problems. So the garlic bread is the best, closest possible thing that you can have. It doesn't make you boom boom in your pants.
Oh.
I wish this was a video podcast. I wish this was a video podcast.
All right.
I've never seen you do that before. He did like a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tooth man motion and not really intending to.
No, I intended it, Eric. All right, maybe we'll settle back on this debate again. But you're incorrect on several fronts here.
Well, I went to bed, so we're not going to talk about it ever again. Anything else that you want to mention? On the 14th monumental episode, we talked about apartment wrestling. We talked about cool weightlifting, effective weightlifting, and how garlic bread is unnecessary with pizza. Anything else that you feel the need to address, Ryan?
No, but I have some notes for the next podcast. Just a couple quick things, so we'll handle it there.
Oh shit. Okay. Next episode. You remember our friend Jerry Lawler from Memphis, Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be another Jerry Lawler match against potentially, arguably, I think I go back and forth on this a lot of different days, but I would accept this answer for being the greatest professional wrestler of all time, Terry Funk. So Jerry Lawler versus Terry Funk in an I Quit match, where the loser has to say the words "I quit." Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So look forward to that in another 2 weeks. If you're not hard, get hard, and once you get hard, stay hard.
Nice.
Bye, everybody.
I believe in like the existence of like weird shit.